I get to do it through acting and writing and producing and directing.
Did you ever see that you would become like Hallmark Queen of Christmas?
I came out of the Mickey Mouse Club and my peers became the most famous people in the world.
Her name is Nikki Deloach.
I've been the president of the board for the last 3 years, where our job is to raise the money so that those kids can get the services that they need. So Mind What Matters, it's an organization where we give financial grants to caregivers. We've been able to get like 8 movies made. Wherever that pinpoint of pain is in your life, that's where so much purpose is, I would say, in terms of like looking to where you can be of service.
Welcome back to Blonde Highlights. We are here today in the studio. We have a very special guest.
Yes, she is an actress and one of my close friends and someone that I think of as like my wise sister. Her name is Nikki Deloach. How are you today?
I'm good, Kyle. How are you? Kyle and I have been together for 15 years.
Yes. I met Nikki on a photo shoot.
Yes.
At the time you were on Awkward. Yes. And I had just moved to LA and it was like the hairstylist on the photo shoot canceled last minute. I got the phone call and they're like, hey, we need you to show up. This is your opportunity to shine. You're going to need to say you've worked with this person, and that person. And here we go. And
shine you did. You did a fishtail braid that was so epic. I fell in love. And then I was like, what are you doing next Thursday?
Yes. And it was the craziest thing. And like, I always have such a special place in my heart for Nikki too, because that was one of those moments where like, I had no career going on, like at all. The only hair I had done in that kind of world was like not red carpets, but like runway shows in nightclubs in Columbus, Ohio.
Oh my gosh, that's amazing.
That was my experience. And then like less than a year later, like, can you do my hair for the People's Choice Awards?
Yeah.
Huge career leap.
Yeah.
We really met each other in a moment.
It really was.
I also, though, I don't know if Kyle shared this, but like, I love collecting good people, like community and building community, because I've lived away from home since I was 12 years old.
Yeah.
Working. So like the people that I collect in my life are my family. So I collected Kyle. We've been together for 15 years. And
Yeah.
so I was saying when I came in, I feel so bad because Kyle like killed my color the last time she did it. But like my grays need to be done, which you're coming over tomorrow to do.
Yes.
So I had to put a hat on, but everybody go look at a picture of like Kyle's color and what she did on my hair this last time, because it is
Yeah, there was
perfection.
a photo that I posted recently, and it was the red carpet you did for a Hallmark event.
Yes.
And
FYC.
Yes. And that was such an epic look altogether.
Oh my gosh, the dress, the whole entire thing.
Yes.
You killed the hair, Steven killed the makeup. It was like, Erin Richards, she has a vision. She's my stylist, but she's so much more than that. Also one of my best friends.
Yes.
She had a vision and then you guys just like executed it so perfectly. I love when that happens. It's just, I don't think people give artists enough credit. I don't mean actors. God knows there's too many award shows for actors. Like I'm always like, where's the award shows for like nurses or, first responders? Like we don't need another award show. But like the artists behind the scenes that make everything happen, they just blow me away. I could never do what Kyle does or what Steven does or what Erin does. I stay in my lane and then just let them do their job. And I'm just always so wowed by them. Yeah.
I always get really wowed by set designers and the prop.
Blown away.
I don't know the exact
props.
Term, props, yeah.
Prop department.
It is so cool. I've seen some like YouTube videos or whatever, what they have on set and how they do it. And I remember I actually did a tour of, I think it was Universal Studios, and they taught me that for snow, they use a lot of the time like box mashed potatoes.
Yeah.
I thought that was the coolest thing.
Oh, they'll use anything. There's foam, like there's something. I mean, I work for Hallmark and we shoot like half the time in the middle of summer. So like, yeah, fake snow. I have said this since the beginning of time. If something goes down in the world, I hope I'm on a movie set because movie people can solve anything. They can solve any problems. Like they can build anything out of anything, you know? So I'm like, those people, those crews.
You want to be in their crew.
I want to be with them.
Yeah.
You know, they're going to figure something out.
You need to start figuring how to add them to your little community that you're building. Like
already happened. We have a meetup spot. We have plans. Kyle and I are both doomsday preppers. So we know like we come to my house. Everybody's got to come to my house and all the things are there. I have like straws that you can like drink the pool water, but it flips it into like actual drinking water. I've got like buckets of food that last for like 15 years.
What?
I've got like, oh girl, I'm set. I have so much toilet paper.
Okay, I need to come over to your house again soon so I can just like, you can just walk me through.
Just
like,
in case.
I need to see the straws. Like I need to see the straws.
Yeah.
Just in case.
I'm coming over for a straw party. Yeah.
She's thought it all through, all the way.
Wow.
I think that like 2 weeks ago, I was like, yeah, in case if we run out of meat, we're going to start raising rabbits.
And I was like, oh, but Kyle, could you actually? And she was like, I could actually, because we were both 4-Hers growing up.
Mm-hmm.
Like I did chickens. I showed chickens.
Wow.
And you did rabbits, right?
Mm-hmm. And sheep.
And sheep, exactly.
Yes.
So like we really have it covered. We have our bases covered.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
Yes.
Damn, you're both giving me that look like we got you. We got you.
We got you, sister.
I'm impressed.
Yeah, and that was one thing that I think we clicked on right away.
Oh yes,
because I was like coming to LA. I think I still had a little bit of an accent then, and like that, I felt so insecure about that. Like I felt so insecure about being country and all this kind of stuff.
Because you wanted to feel like you belonged and stuff. And like this is a city where oftentimes it's like it's weird in the sense that like, you know, one of the pride like moments that I have of the city is that like all is like everyone's welcome.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? Like we don't need to know your beliefs or your history or you're this or you're that. It's like, are you a human being? Does your heart beat? Great. You are welcome. And that is such a beautiful thing about Los Angeles and what makes Los Angeles so incredible. And at the same time, it's an industry city, you know, and the industry though can make you feel so isolated and the that threshold for belonging can sometimes be so steep. And I think like what years of experience in this industry has given me is like, oh, that's all just smoke and mirrors. Everybody, like even the people that, you know what I mean? Everybody is got something going on. So just be yourself and show up. Like who cares?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So, but yes, we connected over that. And also being from rural towns where like it was country living.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
I mean,
I would like to just add in that like I'm also from a country town too.
Love it.
Like
I love it,
like
girl.
I just need to like put that in.
Yes.
I'm from a carrot farming town.
I love that.
Yeah.
Farmers, that rural part of the country. And I also think that it gives us like a different perspective.
Yeah.
It's because like we're from the country and live in the city, but both of those perspectives exist inside of us all the time, you know, and I'm grateful for that.
I am too. I think I've really started to embrace that the last few years of just being like really proud of, and that's something I got from TikTok a lot too, because there's been a few like creators that are from like the Appalachian region and like hearing that accent in media and hearing people talk about some of the things that I grew up with, it just feels amazing. Because if I would tell people where I was from, they'd be like, oh, that's so white trash, or you know what I mean? Like, and now I'm learning to be so proud of it.
Yes.
And I almost wish I had my accent back a little more.
Oh, well, it's easy for me to get it back. All I have to do is get either angry or have a cocktail.
It comes out.
Oh, yeah.
Like, I love when your mom's in town.
Oh my God, and my accent comes back.
Yeah, it's just stalking, and then by the time I leave, I'm like...
Does your accent come out too?
Yeah, it does.
Oh my God, I love that.
Yes,
it's infectious.
Similarities.
Yeah, it's infectious.
That's so fun.
And so, okay, so jumping into kind of like some of the questions, you growing up as a child star, you were in the Mickey Mouse Club, and you know, were you 12 years old when you started?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you came out so great into adulthood. Like, what was your secret to your success of that like transition?
Well, wait, am I successful? I don't know. No, thank you for
just
saying
being a
that.
good person with your head on shoulder. I don't mean career-wise.
I was just going to say, like, I think this will be a little bit of a long-winded answer, but like my idea, the word success changed the longer I was in this industry because, yeah, I came out of the Mickey Mouse Club and my peers became the most famous people in the world when I was struggling to buy produce, and it was really hard because I was like, wait, God, like I'm a big faith person. I was like, did you forget about me? I'm just as talented. I work just as hard. Like, how is it that every single one of my friends, Brittany, Justin, Ryan, Christina, like they all, became so successful so fast. And I was like, man, really struggle busing on and off in my career for very long periods of time. So my relationship to it, this industry had to change a lot. And I will say that failure probably was, if quote unquote failure was the key to being a very grounded, quote unquote normal person. What is normal? I don't know, but I don't consider myself like, I work in this industry, but I'm not of this industry.
Yeah.
My heart and I have a big heart for service, and it's tethered so much to working class families. And because people don't understand, our industry is a working class industry. Our crews and everybody that shows up, we're job to job. Yeah. We don't know where our next job's coming in. And so a lot of people don't understand that because they only see the 5% of this industry, which are the glamour and the people that are like, making a lot of money, but only 5% of actors are financially make enough money where they don't have to have a second job.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know it was that.
It is a very small percentage. So my whole relationship, it was going up and down and up and down. I just realized that I had at one point realized I had a very unhealthy relationship, that my self-esteem and my self-worth was completely connected to, and the industry does that to you. It tells you that you're only important when you're working. People only want you when you're working. And that is true. Yeah. That's how this industry treats you. And so it can really do so much damage to you spiritually, mentally, emotionally. I was sick of being on that roller coaster. And I, really started working on it, especially after my first child, in therapy, really doing the work. But it wasn't until my second child, Bennett, and in the week I was pregnant with him, I was 5 months, I found out that he had multiple congenital heart defects. Without immediate intervention, he wouldn't survive. And even with that surgery, we didn't know if he would survive that surgery. And in that same week, I found out that my dad was diagnosed with Pick's disease, which is a rare and aggressive form of dementia. So I knew he was not going to make it. And that week changed everything for me, because after that, when you go through a life and death experience, you get really clear on a lot of things. And so what I realized is my purpose in the world is to, raise boys with good self-esteem and self-worth, and to make sure that they feel like they are loved, and to be a good wife, and to be a good friend, and to be a good community member, and to wake up every day and be of service in the world. And if that means I get to do it through acting and writing and producing and directing, which I love so much, it's the best job ever. I wouldn't have done it for 30 something years if I didn't love it. That is amazing.
Yeah.
But if one day God said, no, you're going to do it somewhere else, then I would go do it somewhere else, because
okay with that.
The point is, what is my purpose? And I can live out my purpose doing a lot of different things. And once I could wrap my heart around that, then I actually felt successful in my life.
Oh, that's so beautiful. Yeah. I'm having a hard time here keeping it together.
I know.
It's so beautiful. And I feel like I resonate with that as well, because I'm a stepmom of 2 young boys. We have them full time since 5. And my modeling career, I've had to learn that a lot too. Like, the industry will make you feel like you're only worth something.
That's right.
If you're booking, if you're on the campaigns, if you're this, and say, I've always been like an underdog in the industry,
Same.
right? And I feel like once those boys came into my life, and they came shortly after that, there was another tragedy in my life. And I feel like having them and the support of my husband and the love of my 2 dogs, when I go to bed at night, I'm like, if we've made it through another day and like all of us are here, I'm like, that's
Amen.
my level of success. Like I have
Amen.
like this, like that truly starts to happen to me now. And I'm like, that's what it's about. So I'm so sorry. When you were talking about it, I was like, this is like, oh my gosh, I'm so sorry.
I'm a crier. Like as Kyle knows, I'm a crier and I'm a very emotional person. And so like cry away, please, because I think really it does. Me. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. But it's true. And I think so many of us struggle with that because the world tells us what quote unquote success is supposed to look like. And it's like, it's all BS. Yeah. No, it's not. And it's like, are you a good person? Are you kind? Are you safe? Yeah. Are you safe to yourself? Are you safe to other people in your lives? Are you trying to leave the world better than you came into it? Like that to me, like if you've prioritized that in your life, you're a successful person, no matter how much money is in your bank account.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. I know. I warned her. I was like, we're going to cry. We're going to laugh.
She did.
And we're going to learn something very valuable. And now I know what she's talking about. Like, it's just very,
my gosh. No.
No, but I cried up too because I'll never forget that moment of you coming into the salon because that was before I came to you. Yeah. And I remember you telling me that, you know, because we were so excited that you were pregnant and then you were telling me this and then your father and I just remember that. I'll never forget that moment because it was,
you've been there for all of it, both kids.
Yes.
Like
so
think
beautiful.
about that. I mean, you've seen me before motherhood and then after motherhood. We've been through a lot together, Kyle.
Yes.
Like truly.
And I think you taught me too about, you know, and kind of success is sometimes not always in what you think it's going to be, you know, and I mean, I truly believe you're going to change the world. Like you're going to lead a revolution of love or something into the world.
Thank you, Kyle. Thank you. I mean, well, you'll be right there by my side.
Oh yeah. I'm right behind it.
I'm going to do it alone.
Your hair's going to look amazing when you're doing it too.
Are you kidding? My hair is going to look so fierce while I'm doing it. Like all the women, all the women that are leading this revolution, like Kyle will make sure that we all look on point.
Yes, exactly. Yes. But I've struggled with that a lot too, because sometimes in my own career, like I have a resume that is like, you can't beat my resume.
Your resume is great.
But sometimes my success or financial success is not matched to my peers. You know what I mean?
Right.
But I do think that a lot of times I value the relationships that I have, and I value my own like consciousness, I guess, or no, that's not the right wording, but I am very proud of myself that I go about through life, and I think of myself as I've done the right thing.
You have.
I have been a good person, and that has been to my detriment many times in my career, because a lot of times in my career, people are awarded for horrible behavior. Yes. And I have always tried to take the high road and to, you know, be happy with myself at night. And so that has put me back a little bit in some ways, but I definitely lead with like, I feel good about myself at the end of the day. And
I think that's the most important thing. And you should feel good because it's true. You always have put humanity first and prioritize that. And you've always done the right thing. And I think I'm always looking like, what's the next right thing for me to do? Or, you know, I have a writing partner, Megan and I, and we're so aligned in how we move through the world. Kyle also does Megan's hair because at one point in time, I was like, you have got to stop driving 2 hours to your hair situation. Like, you need to let Kyle get a hold of your hair. And she has never looked back. But, we talk about it all the time in our industry. There's so many opportunities for you to throw somebody under the bus, or for you to take a job that belonged to somebody else, or for you, you know, they're offered up on a platter. And Megan and I always look at that and go, but can we live with ourselves? Yeah, sure. This might put money in our pocket in this moment, you know, but like, will we be able to put our head on the pillow and know that we did the right thing? No. The answer is then no.
No. Yeah.
And I think it's really, really important, because I always think about, like, I have this vision of myself at 90, you know, that wise woman. And sometimes when I don't know what to do, or I'm scared about something, or I like channel her and I go to her and let her just kind of give me advice. And she is always like, you know, just do the right thing.
You know what the answer is.
You know what the answer is. Just do the right thing. Yeah.
I always tell myself, I'm like, if you have to think this hard about it, if you're going to question it this much, then for me, I'm like, it's not the right thing. Because
absolutely.
Like, obviously question the things, but if you're going to start questioning your own morals and what's right or wrong to this extent, then...
Glennon Doyle, man, she said it in Untamed, and it has stuck with me ever since. Any woman who's listening, or man, I will say, if you haven't read the book, read it. She talks about that in one of the chapters. She just says, betray everybody else in your life before you would ever betray yourself. That changed my life in 2020 when I read that. I mean, and I just, you know, all the ways that I betrayed myself in order to please, in order to keep the peace, and it chips away at your soul every single time you do it. And who's benefiting from your lack of boundaries? Who's benefiting from your lack of taking care of yourself in that moment? Those are not your people. You know, so betray everybody else in your life before you would ever betray yourself. You know,
I love that. Where did you say that was?
Glennon Doyle in her book Untamed. It is, I mean, I have gifted that book 60 something times to women. I was on set for 2 years. I gave it out to every woman on a set that I worked on as a wrap gift, because I was like, you have to read this book. It is like a Bible for me. It's so good. And now they have We Can Do Hard Things that they just released, and everybody should go get that too.
Oh, cool. I'm going to put that in my
Audible. I have
Audible.
the book at the house.
Do you? Okay, cool.
Yeah, she gave me a copy.
Yeah. I just saw that. I'm like, oh, did she get it from her? Like,
yes. And I have it on audiobook as well.
Oh, same, because I have to go back and listen. I have copies in my... I have like a little gift closet. It's mostly just like toys to give out to kids, but also books that like I feel like you have to read this, but I would just go to the closet and give it to somebody, or you know.
I love. I want one of those closets.
Oh yeah,
I love that.
Well, you just never know when somebody might need a book.
Yeah, you're gonna need to read. Or a kid might need a Lego.
I have brought that up when people like have asked about. I'm like, she'll have a book that she likes, and she has them on hand, ready to give out.
Every time. Yeah.
It's a special gift. You know what I wanted to do? They have them. I've seen them on my street before, and the boys and I are like, this summer we're going to make it.
The box where you go and you exchange the books. Love. We have one in our neighborhood too. It's amazing.
So cool. Yeah. It looks like almost like a birdhouse.
Yes.
And you just open up the door and you take a book, you leave a book. So it's a little book exchange. And where we live, we're on the school community walk. So I'm like, all the kids walk by here. How cool to have their own little book club. I think that's so cool. And then the moms can slip them all in too.
Well, and also like, I've loved books since I was a kid. It was my way that like books and television and movies and stuff. It was like how I escaped whenever I was little, but like I was such an avid reader, and still to this day I like to have it. So I do have them on audio too, but I like to hold them in my hands. I like to highlight it, write in them. But even getting that book, you know, that somebody donated where they highlighted some, like I love that as well. So I love the exchanging,
seeing the name in the book cover. Yeah. I'm like that too. I love like wondering, or like I've seen it before where it's like, to, you know, Lucas, love grandma, happy birthday or something. And then I'm just like, how special that we have this. Like what, you know, it's.
Yes.
Yeah. You know, I saw a neurologist a couple months ago, and he said to me, he's like, do you read? And I was like, well, I do read some, but I listen to a lot of audiobooks while I exercise or while I crochet. And he's like, no, the best thing for your brain is to grab a book and actually read it. And he was like, he's like, that's the best for like brain health. And
well, because it uses a different part of your brain. You know, like, you know, some people are visual learners and auditory learners or whatever, but it exercises a different part of your brain to actually read the words, and it makes it have to jump through different kinds of hoops, which keeps it very active.
Yeah. I've been trying to get into my book era. My mom's an avid reader.
I'm not surprised.
Like she has her own like reading chair, and like sometimes I talk to her because she's on the East Coast. Sometimes she'll call me or something or text me like late my time, and I'm like, is everything okay? Like what happened?
Yeah. She's like, I'm just in my reading chair, reading a book.
She's like, I just finished reading for the night. I'm like, oh, it's a little late. So moving on, like you've done so many things over your career in acting. Did you ever see that you would become like Hallmark Queen of Christmas?
No, I didn't. But that whole ride even was so interesting because I was coming off of a big hit show, having meetings with my management, like the world is your oyster now. What show are we gonna get you on? Elevate that next big thing. And then I got pregnant with Bennett and everything just went floop. Because I chose it to, stay with him and make sure that like his life was saved, So it took me out for like years actually, because it was like 2 years of heart surgeries, then COVID, then like, and more ER visits in the middle of the night, rushes to the hospital than like you can possibly count. It was just an all-consuming thing. And luckily, while I was on Awkward, actually, my grandmother, she was the one that was like, because Awkward was like, it was not really like grandmother watching content. It was a little raunchy. It was a little like, it was such a great show, but it wasn't exactly the one that my grandmother wanted to tell her friends, you should watch my daughter on Awkward, and some kid is on there talking about like, some high schoolers on there talking about like, sex or whatever. Yeah. And so she's like, I just want you to do one of those really nice, like Hallmark movies, like a Hallmark Christmas movie. And I'll do anything, almost anything my grandmother says. So I called my agent and said, my grandmother really wants me to do, I've never, watched one of these, but like, is that a possibility? And next thing I knew, I was doing a Hallmark Christmas movie. And it was such a lovely, delightful experience shooting that movie. And then it was the last movie to air that Christmas season. And I just remember going home to my hometown I just had Hudson at the time and he was really young. And like the feedback that I got from my hometown folks that have been watching me and supporting my career my whole life, like this was different. There was this joy that exuded out of them and happiness. And I was like, what is this? Because for me, I didn't want to be famous. Yeah. Like that was never a goal of mine coming into this industry. I just wanted to make people feel the way that I felt when I was like watching Singing in the Rain as a child, or Funny Girl, or like, the movies and TV shows that are designing women, Golden Girls. Like I just wanted to make people feel the way I felt, whether it was like not alone or tears or connection or joy or laughter, or like whatever it was, because that's the thing that got me through a lot of really hard stuff as a kid. And so when you see that response in somebody else, for me, I was like, I want to figure out what that is. And I think I want to be a part of that. And so I remember going into my manager's office. They're not my manager anymore, but I was like, I had been producing. So I was like, I want to set up a pitch at Hallmark and I want to begin to produce and develop for them movies. And that's what I would really like to do. And I was kind of laughed out of the office. And I was like, well, I'm just going to take my pitches and I'm just going to go do it anyway.
I'm going to do my own thing.
Exactly. And boy, am I so glad that I did, because I got to say, these movies, they touch people in a way that nothing else I've ever done in my life does. They get them through the hardest moments, divorces, deaths, hospital stays, sicknesses, so much. First responders, veterans who just like want to escape for 90 minutes and know that like at the end of that movie, everything's going to be okay.
Yes. Yeah.
The world is hard enough and it's not getting any easier. So if you could be a part of, and the other thing that's so special about this relationship that you get to have with the audience is we have the opportunity to engage with them. We are in their homes constantly. So it's kind of like, you know how soaps, like when soaps were really big back in the day, I know in my family, like they thought that they were best friends with everybody they saw on their TV every single day. And it's kind of that similar feeling of like when they see you, they feel like they know you.
They know you. They can connect with you.
They can connect with you. And you hear those stories of how a movie you did or how you've gotten them through something. And for me, I'm like, I'll take that any day of the week over an Emmy. Yeah. Like, of course, I would love an Emmy. Yeah. But like that is something that, you know, we're talking about when we go to bed at the end of the night and remembering your purpose in the world. Like I'm getting to live out what I believe my purpose is through doing this type of content, you know, on Hallmark.
Yeah. And I think too, like there's definitely been a whole new generation brought into that.
Yes.
As well.
Yes.
And I just even my association with that through you, I see the emotion that it brings out in people. And I was working on a wedding just this past Saturday, and one of the bridesmaids, she was saying, she was just like, you know, I'm so anxious and I have so much anxiety and all this stuff. And she's like, I just love to sit and watch a Hallmark Christmas movie. And she was just like talking about it. And then the bride was like, well, you know, Kyle like does one of the actresses' hair that does that. And she was like, wait, who? And it was just like her whole demeanor changed. And she's like, I got to know this person. She knew like she talked about everybody like they were her best friend.
Yeah.
And she was like, have you met this person? Have you met that person? And I was like,
yeah,
I've met a couple, but
I mean, it's truly the fandom that, you know, that if you people in our industry don't really understand. Yeah. And the crazy thing about it is that, you know, I was like, you take New York and LA out of it, I can go into any hospital, any fire station, any nursing home, any school, any whatever, from East Coast to West Coast, and they are going to know who I am, right? Mm-hmm. But like in our industry, they value something different. And so we don't get the credit that we deserve, even though we are number one in those cable ratings almost every single weekend, unless it's like some big NBA game or NFL game or whatever. We are number one in all the ratings, right? When ratings are going down, we are consistently up there. And, you know, I think our industry could pay attention to that a little bit more, about like what the success of what we've been able to do at our network, and also the fandom that exists there. You know, like they are always concerned about casting that whatever person, and I'm like, nobody in Kansas knows who that person is. They will know who I am. Yes, you know what I mean. Like so, like,
and they want that comfort and that connection with the character. Like I know my mother-in-law. She is like, she got me On the Way Home, the show on Hallmark.
Yes. Great show.
Obsessed with that show.
Great show.
By the way, her and I watch it sort of together, whatever, and we talk about it. But her and I have that connection about Hallmark, because for me, I'm like, as soon as it's like November 12th, I usually start after Remembrance Day. I'm like, that's when I'm in it. I'm in it. And it's that exact thing. Yes. I love the happiness. And even though there's the things that you can relate to, like the hospital stays, the breakups, the everything, at the end, you know, you're going to get something good and heartwarming. And I've actually got my husband on Hallmark movies now. We watch them. Yes. Because it's easy and it's nice and it's just that feeling. So
yeah. And that's what everyone says everyone says this. They're like, it ends and everything's going to be okay.
Yes.
I mean, we don't have that assurance in anything in life.
Yes.
So why not, like, at least in the content that we choose, like, we just have
something of happiness, please, for 1 second.
Yes, just one moment out of the week. Yeah. Just a little certainty. Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. And I know that since you've made that kind of transition too, of not only being in front of the camera in these kind of movies, but you've also teamed up with a writing partner and are writing some of these projects, not just for Hallmark, but other stuff, right? Yeah. So what made you want to like make that transition?
I have always loved writing. Even as a little girl, I was constantly writing, constantly reading. I was that kid in my neighborhood that would literally write a script, and I would give out parts to all the other kids in the neighborhood. I was that annoying child.
I love it.
And I would handwrite everybody's stuff, and then I would give them all their script, and then I would direct them, and we would rehearse. Yes. And I would take my dad's camera that didn't even have a tape in it or anything, but pretend that I was filming it.
That's
and
so cute.
I did that from the time I was so young. I think I always, as an actor, I just felt like I wasn't ever utilizing all of me, the academic that lived in me, the choreographer that I was when I was younger, that could see something come to life and kind of figure out where people needed to be in a scene or whatever. So I was always thinking like that. I remember writing in my journal when I was, I think 14 years old, that I wanted to become the youngest producer in Hollywood. That's where my brain was. So it was always
goal focused, at that age. Yes.
It didn't happen, but that's where my brain was. Yeah. Was not just acting. I wanted to write. I wanted to produce. I wanted to direct. I wanted to take the seed of an idea and see it all the way through to its completion. And I wrote for, before I became a screenwriter, I wrote for so many outlets, online outlets. I would just do an editorial for them. And that was so satisfying, just to be able to write. And then, another thing that Bennett changed, when I found out about his diagnosis, I didn't know, honestly, if I would ever be able to step foot on a set again as an actor, because, we also, it didn't end up being this way, but there were so many challenges that we were potentially facing because of his specific type of heart defects. So we didn't know what condition he was going to be in. We didn't know if there would be other things we would be dealing with even after that first heart surgery, if he made it through it, and there would be other heart surgeries. So I just was well, if that's the case, then maybe it's time to really sit down and focus. I've always wanted to be a writer and write scripts. So Megan, my writing partner, Megan McNulty, and one of my very best friends, around that time, she had brought me this true story of a woman named Bambi Bennett. And she's like, I don't know this world. It's a true crime story that happened in the South. And she's like, I think we should work on this together. And Megan had been working with Charlotte Chatton, who is an incredible writing teacher. She had been through her program. So I was like, listen, I got to catch up to you. So I took that time while I was pregnant, with Bennett, to go and sit on Charlotte's couch every single week and learn how to write, learn how to be a writer. And then we just started plugging away. And, Hallmark, Randy Pope at Hallmark, I always have to give a shout out to him, because I love shouting out the people that give you a chance. Yeah. And it's not like he gave this to me. He didn't say, great, go, we'd love to hire you as a writer. He said, go write a script that's undeniable, you'll have to earn it.
Yeah.
But if you write something that's undeniable and you earn it, then I'll absolutely give you a chance. Wow. And so that Randy Pope did. And that's what Megan and I did. We went and wrote a script. He read it. He was like, this is great. And that was the first movie that we got made. But even to take it back before that, we were developing projects as a producer. Script came in. We were about a month out from having to film it, and it was just an unshootable script that the writer had delivered. And Megan and I said, let us take a shot at this. Let us take a shot at the rewrite. Yeah. And we did a great job on it. And that was the script that you end up seeing on screen now.
Wow.
And it was the top movie, non-Christmas movie on cable that year.
Wow.
And so, we worked so hard. Yep. And we continue to work really hard to do good work and to put our heads down, check our egos at the door. And, knock on wood, we've been able to get 8 movies made, which is amazing.
That's amazing.
Thank you. Yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And you know what? I think it's really inspirational, especially as a mom hearing this, and I don't understand that, but understanding the pressures of motherhood, I understand. So yes. I can't imagine what you were going through at that time. but still having it in you to be like, I'm going to do something for myself and I'm going to stay focused on me as well. And I think that is so inspirational because it's so easy to get lost in motherhood and just, again, like everything you were going through. I think that it's so good that you found an outlet for you that's going to fill your cup, because then it gives you the mental strength and everything that you need within to also do the focus on your children as well. So I just think like as a mom, that is so inspiring. I love that. So good for you. And
you can write, and that was the other thing. It's like, I can write from anywhere. I can write from the hospital room, which we were in a lot. I can write from, wherever I have to be with my child, and that I can put my child to bed and I can stay up late and write at night. I can be a mother and I could also do that. And it's also something I've wanted to do. And then I fell in love with writing. I hope I get to be a writer until the day I take my last breath in this world. There's so much freedom and liberation in being able to, write your own ending to something. And there's power in that. Yeah. And I also thought, there's so much you can't control in the world. Yes. And so when I was in that situation, it's like, I can't control. I am not a surgeon. I am not a nurse. I am not this. I am not that. I can't, like, it was such an exercise in having to every second of the day, relinquish control. Yeah. And so I was like, there's so much I can't control, but what I can control is putting my butt in that chair and writing 5 pages a day.
Good for you.
I can control that. Yeah. I can control picking the right doctor and the perfect hospital and the best team for my child. I just had to flip a switch and focus on the things that I could control in the situation. And that actually put breath back into my body. It was a survival instinct.
I was going to say, it sounds very much like a survival instinct, because that loss of control, that loss of, you don't know, that could go either way. Like, seriously, I've teetered with that. When there's not a lot of control, and I'm so thankful I'm past this, actually 3 years of just like zero eating disorder, because my eating disorder stemmed bulimia. It was like, and it's that hit, it gives you that hit of control. So
disordered eating since I was 10 years old. I totally understand. And it was from trauma as a child, a lot of abuse. And, man, I have a nutritionist. I have a therapist.
Good for you.
I have my writing partner is my accountability person, because I still struggle with it today. I mean, when things happen, the first thing I want to do, and mine shows up in a different way. I restrain. I try to become as small as possible. Because, when I was a child, it was like, if I could disappear, then I wouldn't get hurt. Oh, yeah. If I could make myself small, maybe they wouldn't see me and I wouldn't get abused. Yeah. And so, that brain is wired that way. And so when you lose control, I get it. And I'm so sorry you've had to deal with it too, because it's a real thing. It's such a sneaky thing. Mm-hmm. Whereas like drugs or alcohol is so, it's out there for people to see, when you're falling apart. Yeah. But an eating disorder is such a private. Solitary, isolating thing, and that nobody really sees it. And so that's the danger of it, right? That's the scary thing about it. And I'm so glad you talk about it. I talk about it too, because so many women are dealing with some type of disordered eating situation, and men too. Yeah. And the way that I choose to go about it. And like, listen, even this year, things have come up and I'd find myself a week into something. I'm not eating. I'm doing it. And I do what I have to do. I text my nutritionist. I text my therapist. I text my writing partner, my bestie. Yeah. And I say, I'm in this place. I need you to hold me accountable. And then, so I fall off the wagon, steal, and then I have to get right back on.
It's so great though that you have that support, because it's easy to fall off the wagon. I've had times where I'm just like, it's almost just like a fleeting moment that you're not even thinking it. It's just like, I know. Oh, imagine if you just went in there right now, like just do it. Or this is maybe TMI, but I used to be able to make myself vomit without my fingers. Like I could just easily right now do it.
Yeah.
And I would start pumping my stomach. And there are times where I'm super stressed or I'm whatever. And I'm just like, I start doing my pump and I'm like, I need to text my husband right now. Cause he's always like, I will take every door off. He's threatened to take a door off. He's taken the locks off doors. Like when I was really going through it, he's like, you're not alone right now. Like, and you're not going to be alone. But so it's so good to have that outreach and support, and you've clearly created such a positive community for you, like we said. So good for you. It's really inspirational. I love that.
Well, same back at you, because it's a hard one. That's a really, really hard one. Yeah.
Yeah. We've talked about bulimia a lot because we both just been through it, and to have someone who understands the like, because it can seem so foreign to people, like how do you do, you know, but like,
or like, why would you?
The grossest thing you can do.
It's all control. Yeah. Because when, and it's usually derived from trauma, you know, sexual, physical abuse. Like anybody with an eating disorder, I can look at them and I can go, who abused you? Yeah. You know, because it when something like that violates you, especially at a really young age, you know, people don't understand. It's not just the abuse itself. It's the thing that you're unraveling for the rest of your life, because it wires you a certain way. And, you know, I'm not grateful for the abuse. Yeah. Like if I could go back, I would rather not have it. But I will say, you know, the humanity that it's brought me in the sense that like the compassion that I hold in my heart for everyone else that struggles with something, that part of it, we can make anything mean something. We can take something that was really awful that happened, and we can spin that into something that matters and means something, and try to help other people. And that's obviously what the both of you are doing, especially on this podcast, and what I try to do every single day. Yeah.
So I know that you are heavily involved with Children's Hospital and the Alzheimer's Association and like countless other charities. What advice would you have for any of the listeners on how to choose what kind of projects or charities to get involved in?
Oh, I love that you asked that question. You know, because I believe that everybody should be involved in some kind of charity. It's like, hey, you were gifted this life. Let's like leave the world in a better place than we came into it. Okay, folks?
Like, we can all work together.
I don't care what it is, just whether it's the environment or this or that, like whatever, like just go towards it. And it's also, it's just, it just feels so good too. Like I tell everybody, like if you're struggling or you're sad or you're angry or you're depressed or you're this or that, like go be of service somewhere. It is the greatest shot of just like dopamine into your body to get you out of whatever it is that you're feeling. My biggest piece of advice would be like, wherever there is pain, that's your pinpoint. Okay. You know, wherever you've experienced pain in your life or somebody has hurt you or whether it's like mental health or, you know, for me, it was Children's Hospital Los Angeles, because they saved my son's life. But even beyond them saving Bennett's life, you know, spending so much time, I'll never forget, you know, walking the halls, just constantly, you just walk halls just to like be able to get up and move your body. And seeing all these rooms with these babies that didn't have their parents there. Yeah. And, I asked one of the nurses, I said, where are their parents? You know, why aren't they here? And she was like, oh, like, let me educate you, you white privileged woman. She's like, these families, like they are working 3 to 4 jobs. They can't take off to be able to be here with their kid, or their boss will fire them.
Oh my God.
2/3 of our kids at Children's Hospital are on Medi-Cal, which is Medicaid. And I don't know if you know how much money you got to make to qualify. It's $26,000 a year, or $27,000, $27 in the city of Los Angeles. All right. Like that is nothing. And that's 2/3 of our kids. It's a safety net hospital. And I was like, this is a safety net hospital? She's like, that's right. That means that every child that walks into this hospital, and this always makes me emotional, they get the same treatment as my Bennett. Because the truth of the matter is, and I've always felt this since I was a little kid, my mom would make fun of me because she would be like, you were like a bleeding heart liberal from the time you were in preschool, you know, because I would see that some kids didn't have crayons. And so I'd have to figure out a way to get them crayons. And so I would give them mine and then come home and be like, I lost my crayons, so I got to buy more crayons. And my grandmother would buy me crayons, and then I would go and give the crayons away. And they were like, what is she doing? Finally, the teacher was, crayons? Finally the teacher was like, oh, she's giving them to the kids that don't have crayons. And so I've always been that way. And I could see, in that moment, when I realized that like any kid can walk into that hospital and get the same treatment as my child, like I want to be a part of that for the rest of my life. Wow. Because the truth of the matter is there is no such thing as other people's children. And the other truth of the matter is there is no difference between them and me, except for pure luck. That family that's working 3 and 4 jobs between the two of them, I'm not working any harder than them. In fact, they're working harder than me. I just got really lucky somewhere along the way to be able to afford health insurance or to have a job that has a union that you can buy into really good health insurance. Yeah. And that's the only difference. And so for me, I was like, I could also be them. And if that's the case, I want to be a part of making sure that kids get to come to this hospital. And so then I was asked to join the board.
Wow.
I've been the president of the board for the last 3 years, where our job is to raise the money so that those kids can get the services that they need. And I'm passing that baton on. I'm taking on a new job where we're doing the largest fundraising initiative that we've ever had at the hospital in honor of 125 years.
Wow, that's exciting.
Thank you. And for Alzheimer's, it's because I went through it with my dad and my grandfather, so wherever that pinpoint of pain is in your life, that's where so much purpose is, I would say, in terms of like looking to where you can be of service. If you had a grandfather that was a veteran, go look at Veterans Affairs. They really need help right now, especially right now. Go volunteer, be a voice, because truly, like, it doesn't just give back to them. It gives you so much. So much. And I think it's really important.
Yeah. And I think the people that are doing this kind of work, like for me, we had a lot of issues when I was a kid. My dad was definitely ill several times. My mom ended up with 5 kids and like she had to raise on her own. Yeah. And she was working like 3 jobs. And so there were so many people in the community from churches or food banks and different things that really just showed up. And I know that like within my family, there's a sense of like, not guilt, but a sense of like duty of like, we have to do fundraising. We have to do charity. And
your family is really good at that.
Yeah. And I always was raised with that. And my parents take in kids all the time.
God bless them.
Sometimes we were like, how many siblings do you have? And I'm like, hold on a second. But that's definitely part of it. And I will the work you do with Children's Hospital is always really touching to me. And that's another thing that I think that, when I have the financial means, I'll always want to support, because my little sister had the same brain surgery that my dad did.
Yeah.
And she was at a children's hospital in Columbus, Ohio, which is a little over an hour away. And my college was across the street. And so in between my classes, I would go over and check on her because she was in there for a little over a month. And she came out of surgery. She was okay. We knew that she was going to survive. We knew that she was healthy and good and coming out, but she was in ICU. And I am like, I don't know, but traumatized, but like, I can never get those visuals and sounds out of my head from just sitting there and the guilt knowing that she was coming home. And that there were so many kids that weren't.
Oh, it's. I mean, what the work that these doctors and nurses do, and not to make anything political, but we have a bill that are in the hands of senators right now. And, you might not be on Medicaid, but what you don't understand is that Medicaid funds the majority of hospitals in this country, especially every rural hospital. So everybody out there that is living in a rural area, call your senators, because if they pass this and if Medicaid ends up getting cut, right? Every single rural hospital in this country will close and you will have nowhere to go. it is a very serious thing. And it's not just hospitals, it is nursing homes. It is like our medical system. So these doctors and nurses, man, they have dedicated their lives to saving people. Ask no questions. I don't care about the color of your skin. I don't care about what you believe. I don't care about your religion. My oath is to save your life.
Yeah.
Right. And we are making it more and more impossible for them to be able to do that. And to be, they are heroes. They are heroes, what they are doing. And so, like, honestly, it's a real call to action. We have got to protect the men and women who are out there saving the lives of kids, adults, our loved ones, because let me tell you, like, it will impact all of us in a very, very, very big way.
Exactly. And moving on, like, you are the co-founder of an organization called Mind What Matters.
Yes.
And you're a co-host of Mind What Matters podcast.
Yes.
Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah. So Mind What Matters, it's an organization where we give financial grants to caregivers. Caring for loved ones with neurodegenerative illnesses. So Alzheimer's, dementia, ALS, Parkinson's. And it's both Liz and I mean, Liz founded it. Another one of my best friends, Elizabeth Humphreys, her mother had Alzheimer's for 14 years and she was her primary caregiver, and she started Mind What Matters. It was because of what she went through as a caregiver. And she was a caregiver who had money, whose husband had a great job. They could afford to do all the things. And for her, it was like, wait, we are lucky. Again, it's that brain. It's that something in that person's heart that says, I'm lucky. What about all these people out there that are doing this, that don't have money, that had to quit their job to be the primary caregiver? What are they doing? How are they struggling? And so she launched Mind What Matters. And it started as a podcast, which is how I met Liz. She asked me to be a guest to talk about my dad and my grandfather and my work with the Alzheimer's Association. And it has grown, and Mind What Matters as a nonprofit has grown and grown. And we've been able to give out thousands upon thousands of financial grants to caregivers. Wow. Because caregivers in our country, we are about to experience like a real crisis because that baby boomer generation is getting up there, right? And so we're going to have a caregiving crisis on our hands. And our eyes have been set on this for a while now. And like, how can we support our caregivers? And the podcast is really, we talk about all the ways that we give care. It's not just Alzheimer's and dementia. Everyone is a caregiver in some way, whether it's a mom to your children, or whether even if you don't have children, but you are a caregiver to your mother or to your dad or to your family or to a partner or to an organization. Like, everybody is a caregiver in some way, shape, or form. So like, we have a lot of conversations about that. And also, how do we give care to ourselves? Because the thing that I see time after time after time again is that the caregiver will even go down before the person with the illness. And so what a financial grant helps them to do is to go to get that mammogram, to bring somebody into their home, to pay them to be able to watch their loved one so they can go get a mammogram. They can go get an annual physical so that they don't end up getting cancer, and not knowing that they have cancer because they were so busy taking care of somebody else. I mean, caregiving is a grind, so that's what we talk a lot about. I hope people come and find us over there at Mind What Matters, having a lot of those.
We'll definitely link everything.
Thank you.
Yes, of course. I appreciate that.
Yes. And do you have any tips for listeners who, want to make a difference in some way, but they just feel like overwhelmed?
Oh, I mean, I think especially right now, everybody feels so...
Everyone's overwhelmed.
Everyone is overwhelmed. Everyone is overwhelmed. And first I will say, Brene Brown talks about the feeling of overwhelm, like when you are actually in overwhelm. And overwhelm is like, because we throw it out there all the time. Like, I'm overwhelmed. But like, what overwhelm really is when you feel paralyzed. Like, you can't make a choice about anything or make a decision about anything because the the absolute breadth and width of everything that's going on has actually paralyzed you to be able to do anything. Yeah. That is overwhelm. And if you are in that place, first and foremost, like, take care of your mental, physical, emotional health for sure. I will also say, find a place to be of service. Like, there is nothing like, I will come back to that. I'm an overwhelm. Okay. The one thing I can do is, my friend Amy, our friend Amy Parker, shout out to Amy. She went through a really tough, like, breakup and all this stuff that was going on. It was all very overwhelming. And she was like, I love animals. So she goes and she volunteers at is it Wags and Tails, or like the Wags and Walks, which is the organization where you can come and adopt, animals. And she goes and she volunteers there, and she does it all the time because she's like, it's the one thing I can do. Yeah. So I will say, like, absolutely take care of yourself first and foremost, but then outside of that, take care of yourself first, but then maybe that next right thing is to be like, you know what? Maybe I'm just going to show up and, like, go volunteer somewhere for the day. I guarantee you, when you leave, you will feel full. Your heart will feel full. You will, come home, be able to put your head on the pillow, and you will be able to just breathe a little bit easier. So that's number one. Number two, I always go into what I have: crisis management. Okay. Crisis management. Yeah. Don't look far, look forward. So, like, think of it this way. You're walking up a flight of stairs. If you look all the way up to where you're going, you're going to trip because you're not going to see the step right in front of you. Okay. So looking forward is like, what is just that next step that I need to take? And it might be, especially if you're in a place where, like, I can't get out of bed. Mm-hmm. Maybe that next step is like, I'm going to go brush my teeth and wash my face and take a shower. And I'm going to put clothes on my body. And I'm just going to get dressed. I don't know what for. Yeah. But I'm just going to do that. I would do that at the hospital. I would, like, be like, I need to go home and get a shower and blow my hair out. And I just need to put on some actual clothes and feel like a person. Yeah. And that was the only thing I could do that day, standing by my kid's bedside all day long, as his chest was open and he was healing. Like, that is what I could do for myself that day, and then stand by his bedside. And then at least I had a good lip gloss on, and I can, like, like,
you had good hair. Nice.
My hair was blown out and I had good lip gloss on. And the other thing I would say is, like, breath, breathing, stay in your body. I know we are taught as a society, especially women, your body is not a safe place. And when you've experienced, especially like I did as a child, sexual abuse, you were taught at a very young age that your body is not safe, right? Because it was weaponized against you. And then society shows you every single day that your body is not safe, when in fact, it is the safest place that you can be. Your body tells you all day long what's going on, what you're anxious about. So, like, what you're sad about, what you're scared about, what you're happy about, what brings you joy. Your body will give you those signs all day long. Stay in your body, breathe into your feet, a safe place in your body. My place is the feet, because sometimes, like, in those crisis situations, my heart feels vulnerable. I feel like I'm going to vomit, disordered eating. Yeah. I can't, like, all of it. And I'm like, well, I'm going to breathe into my feet. I'm going to breathe into my feet. And once I'm back in my body, I'm just going to do that next step. And I'm going to be like, in 10 minutes, I'm going to get through this next 10 minutes. And then at that 10 minutes, I'll get through the next 10 minutes. That's crisis management when you're in overwhelm, at least for me.
I feel like I can really relate to that, because I feel like the countdown and the next step, because I feel like whenever there's a way of thinking, how do I get out of this rut? How do I do everything? It's always I need to go to therapy. I need to do this. And that stuff is great. But I truly understand the whole thing of not being able to get out of bed. And my thing for a long time was just get your feet on the ground and just look at your feet. And then from there, whatever happens. And that was my thing. Just stand up and look at your feet.
Yes.
And every day, build that habit, because I'm telling you, I could stay in bed for days at one point. And it's the whole thing of like the countdown, like whenever I'm in, I was actually speaking about this, I think it was with you yesterday. Whenever I'm in a crisis situation, I'm always like, okay, there's probably only like 3 more hours left. And then, you know, maybe at this point in like 7 hours, I'm going to be back in my bed and it's going to be okay. And like doing that countdown and doing all of that. So I think that's good advice, because sometimes it seems like you have to do the biggest thing when sometimes it's the smallest tools that you need.
That's why I said them. They're all very, very small things, because when you are actually in overwhelm, like you can't look far because that's so overwhelming. So don't do that. Just like, and that's what I mean by forward. Put your feet on the ground. 3, 2, 1, feet on the ground. 3, 2, 1, stand up. 3, 2, 1, walk to the bathroom. 3, 2, 1, brush your teeth. Like truly. One next thing after another. Like I have been there. You've been there. We've all been there. And it is not the big things. It is literally those little tiny things that you have to focus on in each moment, and just saying, okay, I just got to get to the next hour and to the next hour. And the next thing you know, you're laying your head on that pillow at night and you're going to sleep and you made it through another day.
Exactly.
And that's what we were talking about this last night, because we got kind of rushed. We were like, oh, we have to get this done and stuff. And then I'm like, my garden, we have to water it. And it's like the sun isn't waiting on us. But we were talking about it, and she was like, we were both saying, you know, about feeling overwhelmed sometime, or having anxiety and feeling these moments. And I say, one of the reasons that I'm so dedicated to my garden is because I can be in the worst situation, and I can be having a panic attack in the car, and I'm like driving to the garden and I'm like, why am I doing this? And it's so, I will never left there without not feeling 1,000 times better.
That's prayer for me. You know, that's prayer for me. That's your church. You know, and I say, that's another thing. Find your church. It doesn't have to be an actual church. Like, you know, I think that we have to think much bigger in terms of our spiritual spaces and where we can actually find that peace and that reset button. So find where your church is. It might be for you on a mountain hiking. It might be like a reading chair. It might be a garden. It might be like whatever that reset is for you, find your church. I
just love that.
And kind of closing this out, one thing that I'm always just fascinated about with you is you are like acting, you're writing, you're producing.
Because you are in my house
a lot
all the time.
Like you do more shit than anybody I know. Like, how do you keep it like balanced and
what is
balance everything?
Balance? It is like that is so balanced. I mean, truly, it's like when you're working, you know, you're not with your kids, and when you're with your kids, you're not where but I have found actually like my version of what balance looks like, because yes, I'm a workhorse. I love working. I love it. But I also love what I get to do. And there's nothing that I'm doing right now, whether it's Children's Hospital or Alzheimer's work or Mind What Matters or the podcast or acting, producer, whatever. There's nothing that I'm doing right now that doesn't bring me a ton of joy, truly. And so it's really hard to say no, the things that bring you joy. You know, it just is. But like my family comes first, my kids come first and foremost. And so I think the way that I've like, especially when I'm home, if I'm on set and I'm filming, like all bets are off, and I just have to get into the mindset to know that I'm going to work 16, 17, sometimes 18-hour days. Like there's going to be zero balance. I am going to work very long days. That's one thing you don't know about Hallmark movies. We shoot them in 3 weeks. And they are, I mean, like you are like shot out of a cannon. And especially when you're number one on the call sheet, you're in almost every single scene of that movie. So like you're picked up. Sometimes you're picked up and it's dark, and you're dropped off at your hotel and it's dark. Like most of the time. They're very, very long days. And so like balance, when I'm doing that, I just get it in my head. It's like, this is a sprint. You know, there will be no balance. this is what I'm doing for the next like 3.5 weeks or a month or whatever. But when I'm home and I'm in writing, developing mode, hospital, that kind of stuff, I'm really proud of myself because what I've done now is like, I don't have a nanny or anything like that. I have some babysitters that can fill in if I need it, but I drop the kids off. I go to chapel with them at their school. I come home, Megan and I get on, we write until it's time to pick our kids up. And then we're with our kids in the afternoons. Wow. And that is the joy of being a writer, you know, and sometimes you have those notes calls in the afternoon and I have to bring somebody in and be like, can you take the kids to piano or whatever? But like most of the time I can schedule my work life in between those hours. And I just like, boom, I get it done.
Make the most of those.
Make the most of that time. Yep. And then I'm with my babies. And so that's one thing that I've shifted in the last couple of years in my life that has brought a lot of balance and also a lot of joy because we can't get that time back with them. You know, my oldest is 11. Right? How many more summers and how many more afternoons of me taking them to piano and all those things is he going to give me? Like the time is limited.
It's so limited. My oldest right now is 10. And I was thinking of this. I'm like, this is probably our last fun summer where he just wants to do all of the kids stuff. And like, you know, like I'm still like number one, like, and we're doing everything together. Like it goes so quickly.
It goes so quickly. And it's just like, you know what, if it means that I miss out on something, if it means that I am so good with that because like, whatever. Yeah. I can't get this time back, but once he's gone to college or once he's like, Mom, I don't want anything to do with you, you know, then I can take that time to be like, all right, I'll double up on my writing or I'll double up on this or whatever. But like, I am not on your timeline. Yeah. This is my life. This is my one precious life. So I think that's the difference is it's like, nobody dictates what how or what, unless obviously I'm on set and then I'm like, whatever you say, whatever you say, sir. But like outside of that, I can control what I can control. Yes. And this is the way that I've decided to organize my life.
Great.
Yeah.
I love it. Inspirational. Let's do it. Let's do it. Yeah, we'll do a quick round.
Okay, let's do it.
Okay. So this is a game we call Creepy or Cute. It's just a rapid fire. You know,
just super quick.
Super quick. Okay. So I'll start it. Fishtail braids in a red Mustang on the beach.
Love the fishtail braids, the red Mustang. I don't know. One's cute, one's creepy.
I was going through old magazines and I showed her. I was like, oh my God, look at this one.
Last time I was here. Yeah, she showed me.
It was covered in dust.
Love the fishtail braids. So that's so cute. Mustang on a beach. Like creepy. Okay.
Meeting someone on a train headed to the same town, having an instant connection, and then departing before getting their names.
Cute.
I've done my research.
Cute. Every single time.
Tree lighting ceremonies.
So cute.
Okay.
Having the same husband in countless movies.
I mean, some might say creepy, but listen, I say it's really cute. Andrew Walker.
Shout out.
A hairstylist cutting your hair too short.
Cutest thing that I thought in the moment. Did she tell you this story?
I knew. I was here.
Oh my gosh. We just have to pause because, excuse my language, it was literally, I go, what the fuck, Kyle? And I run into the back because I went and I like did this and there was no hair. There was literally no hair. And we've never had one of these moments. And Kyle's face, like, also, that is her trauma wound. And I totally, like, and I get it. I had to apologize 120 times. But as soon as Kyle left and Aaron was there and we were putting on clothes because I was about to go do like a whole big work trip. And every outfit I put on looked better because of my hair.
Your hair.
I was like, hold up. this is not too short. This is so chic and so perfect. Yes. Like, and also I am never changing my hair. I will never be growing it out. Kyle, I want to cut that short every time you come into my house. But at first I'm like, oh my God, I still will never forgive myself for how I freaked out on you.
No, it wasn't that scary. It was okay.
Kyle's
Megan
face,
looked at me and we both locked eyes and we're like, oh.
Well, because Megan goes, I mean, it's really short. And I was like, the worst. So definitely cute and chic.
Oh, I love it. David Bowie wigs.
Creepy. That wig was so creepy. I'm sorry. Like it was, I just threw that wig in the trash yesterday. I went through, no, seriously, I just threw it in the trash yesterday because I was like, that was the creepiest wig.
Christmas photo shoots in July.
Creepy. Oh man. There's not enough words for 110-degree heat and you are dressed head to toe in winter taking photos. Yes.
It's the same as in modeling because normally when they're shooting like winter coats and everything, that's always in like the hottest place.
Dude,
it's terrible.
Ice packs down the underwear.
Yes.
Yeah. Creepy.
Pausing for a dance break.
Always cute.
Always cute. Hey, Nerf guns.
Creepy. Kyle has to deal with them every time she comes to my house because of my boys. I'm just like, why do you love these things?
Why?
As they fly everywhere.
The bullets are everywhere.
Everywhere.
It was so funny. Actually, one of the last times I went to New York, I was having this big meeting and I was like, oh yeah, I've got something. Actually, no, I was in LA and I pulled it out and my agent, she started laughing and because I was looking for something, I'm like, I can't escape them. They're literally everywhere. Back pockets, I found them.
We just went to the Dodgers game and my son, when we were going through the security scanner, he pulls out like pockets full of like Nerf gun ammo. And I was like, dude, yes, exactly.
Okay, we got one last one.
Okay.
Getting hooked on Real Housewives while pregnant.
Cute. Best gift. Best gift ever. And I just started Summer House. I went to the beginning. And so Kyle, I don't know. I never watched the Housewives franchise until Kyle. And then Kyle, when I got pregnant with Bennett, was like, I think this is a good time for you to start. Hooked ever since.
I love you.
Hooked ever since. Cannot get enough. And then I've now started Summer House and I'm just like, I'm in. I'm so in.
You're invested.
Yes. That was so fun.
You sent me a screenshot of like the TV and you said, who gonna check me, boo?
I miss her on Atlanta.
I know.
They need to bring that girl back.
Yes.
She's fierce.
Okay, well, I think Alex is going to kill us.
Yeah, we gotta go. We love you.
And we missed our highlights and lowlights.
But whatever. There are no lowlights today.
We gave, I think, a lot of quality content and learning in this. Yes. So I can't thank you enough for doing this. And
thank you both.
I was probably like as nervous as I've ever been in an episode because I was like, I just have to do a good job. You know what I mean?
You did a great job. Kyle, there's nothing that you do that you don't do a good job.
But your opinion matters so much to me. So I was like, okay, I can't be.
Well, same. We give that to each other. Thank you for having me.
I love you both so
much.
Yes.
I love you.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we will be sure to link all of Nikki's links so you can get involved. And we will see you next week.
Hey, thank you.
Bye.
Bye.